What's up, everybody? I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing well. I'm Olani Moloi, and I'd like to say about 500 people have decided to subscribe to this channel. And I would like to say thank you very much. And if you haven't done so, I would appreciate if you can just smash that subscribe button, smash that like button like never before.
Inata has been operating openly, I don't know for how many years, unharassed and unpersecuted by the state. In fact, the leader of Inkatha Freedom Party is the chief minister in a homeland created by Pretoria. The resources of that homeland are at his disposal. He has got offices in Ulundi. He gets his salary from the South African government. Most of his ministers are paid by the South African government. They have never been arrested, persecuted, or banned, banished, or exiled like ourselves. Unlike Mandela, he has enjoyed all the space to mobilize. Mandela, until last year, was in prison for 27 years. All the senior leadership of the ANC, for information, has never been able until last year to come back and build an organization inside South Africa. So I think the comparison is rather unfortunate. Inkatha is a sweetheart organization, loved by Pretoria and not harassed at all. And they have never been involved in a struggle, in my own memory, against the South African government. They are like a church, as far as I'm concerned, which goes every day unmolested to preach the word of God. They preach the word of freedom without taking any action to ensure that freedom comes about.
These words of Chris Hani should educate us politically, because I still believe that many people need to be educated politically so that you can make right decisions. Let me just make this example. If my neighbor opens a business, when my neighbor starts a business, I will support my neighbor. When my neighbor starts a non-profit organization that will benefit people, then I will support my neighbor. But the moment my neighbor starts a political party, I have to say, neighbor, please come so that we can sit down and talk about this. Because now we need to go deep. We have to understand everything about his policies. So whenever you vote, you have to vote based on what this political party is saying. You have to vote based on policies. You should not vote based on what other people are telling you. You have to vote based on policies. Even when you ask questions about certain political parties, you have to target their policies so that you can see if this is the political party that I should vote for, or this is the political party that I shouldn't even vote for. So I don't want to talk about these political parties which Chris Hani spoke about, like IFP and many others. But I would like to say right now, as we speak, we have many political parties in South Africa. They are very passive. They talk about freedom, but indeed, they are not doing anything to make sure that freedom has been achieved or that freedom is achieved. They are not doing anything at all. Their focus is to target maybe 2 seats or 3 seats in parliament, or to target certain positions, maybe provincially or nationally and otherwise. So their target is more on positions, service delivery, and other things. They are not ensuring that the people of South Africa get their freedom, the complete freedom that some of our people died for. So if you look into their policies, then you will find out that these people are not even representing you. Because why I say you should vote based on policies is because sometimes during elections, people will come and say, vote for our political party, vote for our political party. But if you go deep, you'll find out that these people are not even experiencing what you are experiencing in your area. Because some of these people who are making these campaigns are living in suburbs. They're living a comfortable life. So in most cases, you should not expect those people to represent you, because those people are representing something else. So you have to vote for someone who is concerned about your needs. So how will you know? You have to go into their policies. Don't just vote because someone has established a political party. Most of these political parties are concerned about 1 seat in parliament, 2 seats in parliament. They are concerned about other things. Some of these political parties have been there for a long time, but they are not serving people at all. So you have to vote based on policies. That is why I encourage people to go to the internet and search about the policies of different political parties in South Africa. I'm telling you, you will be shocked to find out that some of these political parties that are led by black people, their policies are similar to the policies of DA and other political parties. Even ANC right now, as we speak, is a suited organization.
Think will happen is the ANC will split because you have in the same party true red communists. You have people committed to free enterprise. You have people with totally different ideological and policy principles in which they believe.
Too many contradictions within the same party.
Absolutely, and that cannot last. I see the ANC, I see a new political realignment, more around values and away from old historical divisions. I see the moderates within the ANC and the radicals within the ANC getting separated from each other. The war will be who gets the trade name ANC and who forms a new party. But I see a split coming, whether it will be a series of smaller splits or one big split, I can't predict. But a split coming and a realignment in party politics where people believing in the same values, although they find themselves in different parties, will much more easily be able to work together, form coalitions, and will be representing the overwhelming majority of South Africans, which are moderate in their outlook and who would like South Africa to succeed, and who don't believe and don't support radicalism in whatever form.
Careful. This is F.W. de Klerk, if I'm not mistaken. His prediction about the split of ANC was correct, but not supernatural, because it was an obvious thing. Because you have to understand that the reason he made this prediction is because he knew very well that in 1994, they made that arrangement for ANC to sell out. They made that arrangement. Even though Chris Hani was disappeared, even though some of the militant guys were disappeared before the elections of 1994, there were still those few people within ANC who were radical. Those few people who were like, this freedom is not complete. Those few people who were not satisfied about the decision making during that time. So that is why they predicted this split. Because within ANC, there were those who were like, but what is going on? We don't like what is happening within ANC. But at the same time, within the very same ANC, there were those who were like, everything is good, everything is fine. That is why he made this prediction. That is why I'm saying, even though the prediction is correct, it's not supernatural. It's something that was supposed to happen, or something that was meant to happen. In other words, it's obvious. Why? Because in 1994, ANC sold out. Not only in 1994, because you have to go back to the politics of the 1960s. If you can understand the politics of the 1960s, that's when you will understand that there's absolutely nothing you can get out of ANC. Even if maybe we can try by all means to say ANC this, ANC that, even if you can try to say ANC please do this, ANC please consider the poor, if you can fully scrutinize and understand the politics of 1960s or the politics in the 1960s and how PAC was formed, then you will understand that you should not expect that much from the lovely ANC.
I think we should be careful of how people interpret these results. I think there is no neutral interpretation of the outcomes of the result. If you say that the people have spoken, you must then tell us they have spoken and what is the meaning of what is the meaning and the instruction of those votes. I think often, I've seen it in the ANC, that it has been interpreted, these results of the people, in order to further sell out to the people. The people have spoken. They voted the ANC out of power for its failure to stick to liberation vision, to fully implement the Freedom Charter, to better the lives of the people, and they voted it out. And what we see crystallizing in front of our eyes is the ANC, that instead of doing a clear thing that needs to be done, to say EFF come here, MK come here, UDM come here, and still look around which other political party that is where people have voted, let's form a government in order to put together a revolutionary agenda that will change the quality of life.
I agree with Ivan Jim here. Why I agree with him? Even though I understand very well that there's no way ANC would want to work with EFF and the MK party, but I agree with Ivan Jim here. When we say the people have spoken, we are talking about the poor people. The poor people have spoken. So this is what ANC should have done. ANC should have said, you know what, MK, come here, and EFF, let's come and negotiate. Let's come and form a coalition. I'll tell you why. It's because most of these people who punished ANC voted for MK, and others voted for EFF, because most of the people who are voting for EFF came from ANC, and most of the people who voted for MK came from ANC. Some of them might have voted for other political parties like DA, but it's only few. So ANC was supposed to say, you know what, let me strategically make a coalition with these political parties so that I can bring back my voters, so that I can bring back my strength again. Why? Because the voters of ANC went to MK, went to EFF. KwaZulu-Natal is a better example of what I'm talking about. So most of the people who punished ANC in KwaZulu-Natal voted for MK party, voted for Umkhonto weSizwe. So this is what ANC should have done. ANC should have said, you know what? I don't want to lose my people, even though it seems as if I have lost my people. Let me strategically work with Umkhonto weSizwe in KwaZulu-Natal so that I can bring the trust of my people back. This is a strategy, but there's no way ANC would want to work with MK or EFF. Why? Because if you can understand the politics of the 1960s, you'll understand that you should not expect anything from ANC. And again, I agree with F.W. de Klerk about his prediction of these splits that are happening within ANC. We saw it with COPE, EFF, MK. We are talking about like big political parties that made an impact. As a result, ANC suffered. So ANC was supposed to say, you know what, let me humble myself and bring EFF and bring MK party, because these political parties have my voters. So I have to make my people to trust me again. But if you can understand these politics that I'm talking about, you will know and understand very well that there's absolutely nothing we can expect out of ANC. So what we want right now, what we expect now is for more people within ANC, especially the voters of ANC, to wake up. We have to educate them politically. They have to understand that when it comes to ANC, there's absolutely nothing they should expect. So that is why this thing of thinking that they will rule until Jesus comes back, it's impossible. Many people who voted for ANC are not happy with the move that ANC has taken to be in a coalition with DA. The problem is that most of these people are staying in suburbs and they don't even come to the locations where majority of people are staying. That is why to themselves they think everybody is fine. You have to go to where the majority of people are staying, where your voters are staying. Then you will discover that they are not satisfied. I would appreciate if you can just smash that subscribe button, smash that like button like never before.